actually really like golf with no fans. What is up, my friend? How are you today?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Spring is about here, but then we got a little fake out today, and we see an MLB game going on with some snow.
Yeah, City Field is they shut things down today.
Yeah, and that was a different story. So we've got some COVID situations, which I honestly thought it was April Fool's. So I saw this news coming out first, and then I was watching ESPN, and the promos that they had weren't updated. So I was like, okay, well, they're talking about the Mets game, so this must have been some sort of and no, that is not the case.
No.
It's not the case. 2 games are canceled.
Yeah, Lisa, I was going to say, between this and Roy Williams, you trust no April Fools, but those weren't April Fools jokes. This is the real deal right now.
Not April Fool's jokes at all. Let's talk about what also isn't April Fool's jokes. Tonight's slate, we got some good games, and I've got some updated injury reports. Let's go in order. We're going to go first with the Philadelphia 76ers taking on the Cleveland Cavaliers. Everybody, we are going to give you the lines of Bovada. Feel free to chime in. We want to hear what you all have to add. This game right here, it is minus 560 for the Sixers to take the win, plus 380 for the Cavs to take the win. And the total points in this game is 213. Now, we know Embiid is still out. We know George Hill is still dealing with a lingering thumb issue. He's still going to be getting back to basketball activities later on this week on the other side of the ball. Windler is out. He's doubtful. Love is out. Jared Allen is out. There it is, still day-to-day. But Deladova looks like he's going to be coming back from the ab injury, which is going to be great for them to get him back out there. What can the 76ers do tonight? Not missing quite as many pieces. Will they take the win, or will the Cavs be taking the win in this one?
First of all, I got to give a shout-out to our guy, Freebird497, who said that the sound is phenomenal. So thank you for that. And
he's always the best.
Yes, he is our technician, our unofficial technician, but official. And to your question, Lisa, I do have the 76ers, but I have them in the under. No Joel Embiid, but you got Ben Simmons, who's taking charges these days. And you got Tobias Harris, the biggest snub outside of RJ Barrett in the NBA All-Star game this past month. And I do have the 76ers in the under. What say you, Lisa?
Yeah, I'm feeling the same thing. The missing pieces for the Cavaliers really do add up. Not allowing them to get those extra buckets is going to hurt. It's going to be great to have Deladova back, but we're still not sure if he's going to be on a minutes restriction. So with that, ab injuries, just like the coccyx for Curry, very tough injuries to heal. So I'm staying with you right there. We've got the Sixers for the win. Total points of Bovada at 213. We're going for the under. What you all say out there? What are you playing in this game? We've got the Wizards taking on the Pistons. All right, let's go through. There's quite a few injuries. And also, I got some injuries and updates in later games. Wizards right now are minus 150 to take the win. Pistons plus 130. The total points is a bit higher in this one at Bovada. It's 225.5. Wizards. Nato is still day-to-day. Bradley Beal is still day-to-day. On the other side of the ball, McGruder is out. Ellington is day-to-day. Okafor is out. What are you saying on this one? 222, the books do see more scoring. The bummer for me is Bradley Beal, not getting the definitive answer one. It's day-to-day. Give me a questionable, because then I at least feel better. Do you think Bradley Beal plays tonight?
No.
I agree.
But I think, but Russell will play.
Yes, who has been playing very, very, very well.
Just as Stephen A. Smith and Nina Westbrook. But no, in all actuality, the Pistons, to me, I like their young squad, but I see this as a mercy game for both. I think it's going to go Wizards, and I have Wizards with the over.
Yeah, I'm right there with you now. If Beal does miraculously get slated to be coming in this game, and you're all watching this news later than what we do this live, you know that it's definitely going to be an older over because we know what Beal can do. But you're right. I'm right there with you tonight. We're taking the Wizards for the win. The total points. Jeff says, Wizards under. Russ, third triple-double in a row. I still think they can go over with those double-doubles, so we're going to stay on the over. We got the Hornets and the Nets coming up next. The Nets, I feel like every week we talk, Scoop, the Nets become a more interesting team. I mean, what else can they add? Are they going to add cheerleaders next? Like, what's the Nets going to do next that blows our mind, other than just keep winning?
Lisa, I heard they have one roster spot left. I heard they offered you a 10-day contract.
I would take a 10-day contract. I mean, listen, I'll go through protocols. I've been testing once a week. You test me every day. But the fact that I would be getting into an arena and have a good seat, I'll take that scrub job. No pay. Take it. Because right now, the best seat you can get are like one whole section up because they don't want people breathing on the players. So, like, yeah, coach, you don't have to put me in. Just put me on the bench. I will ride fine. I don't care. We got the Charlotte Hornets plus 115. Brooklyn Nets minus 135. Total
Harden, no Blake Griffin tonight.
I'm going through that right now. The total points 221.5. On the Hornets side, Monk is still day-to-day, and I definitely think that the Hornets are feeling the absence of LaMelo Ball, who went through wrist surgery last week. On the other side of the ball, you are correct. We already know about Durant. Do we mention him anymore? Blake Griffin is day-to-day, and Harden, who was day-to-day, is now going to sit out tonight because of this hamstring tightness, which I think is the right thing for him to do. And we know that Shamat is out. I still do not think that the Nets are going to lose to the Hornets.
You do?
I don't. No.
Oh,
I do not think. No, I do not. I do not. This just gives everyone else on the bench a chance, and we know the Nets have a decent bench.
Your favorite fantasy basketball player, Kyrie Irving, will play. And I think he had like 39 and 12 last night against the Houston Rockets. The Nets are in a very interesting situation for the month of April. 8 of their 16 games are at home, and the furthest that they have to travel this month is New Orleans, and they play the Pelicans twice. And
so they go there once, right?
Yes, and they don't go on the road again until, if I'm not mistaken, either April 10th or April 12th. I was being a schedule nerd, but the Nets have a good situation. The toughest matchups, the Sixers, the Raptors, or the Celtics, the Portland Trail Blazers. But the Nets are in a good groove.
What helps them the most in that situation with no travel, honestly, is it helps James Harden. Because dealing with a hamstring tightness, I don't know if I mentioned to you that I've been recovering a hamstring now. I'm going on a month. It's actually feeling much better. I've still been working out the whole time, but just very gingerly because I know what I have to do. But I haven't had to fly. Flying is actually the worst thing you can do for a hamstring because the way the inflammation grows. And yes, I will admit to you all, I pulled my hamstring. Didn't actually rip it, but I pulled my hamstring. Trying to see how many consecutive cartwheels I could do across my basketball court one morning. I don't know why. I was just doing this, and I'll tell you what, it didn't play out very well. The second it happened, I was like, oh, this is why you don't do kid shit in the basketball court. So I'm going to go with the Nets for the win, and I'm going to go with the total points right here at 221.5 for the under.
I have them in the over. And Lisa, I think if this serious thing doesn't work out, but I think it will, I think you could try out to be a team mascot, and I think they may give you a reprieve there. So I'll put some feelers out for you.
Yeah, you know what? That's not the worst gig I've been offered. I'm not gonna fight that. Okay, so let's go to the next game right here. You're gonna say less strip clubs. That's funny. Thank you so much, Ty. Fooled by my inner goof. Always being a goofball, especially if it's super early in the morning. I get up, I start working out, and then I go to the court. Then I'm like, I'm out of my mind. Let's go to the Warriors Miami Heat game tonight. Heat, another team that got a little bit more interesting. The Warriors are plus 130. The Heat, this line is moving as we speak, minus 150. The total points of this game is 217. Warriors are only missing Pascal. I got to give Curry so much credit. It is so hard. Your coccyx bone is a bone that never really heals. Very uncomfortable. You do know that when he shoots some threes, he's going to lay back down on that thing and hit it again. He's out there. On the Heat, none is day-to-day, and Haslem and Opala are still in the COVID protocols. Total points in this game right here, 217. What you got, everybody? Jeff says he's going for the Heat for the win in the over. We don't think the Warriors can get it done, Jeff? What about you, Stu? Do you think the Warriors can get it done?
Hey, Lisa, every conversation, it's all about the Miami Heat. So I'm going to say Heat surging. I got the Heat. And Script Daddy knows what time it is. I got the Heat in the over too.
I am right there with you on that one. Now, here's where things get a little bit interesting. They get really interesting in this Magic Pelicans game. Why would I say that? What could be interesting about the Magic? It's not the Magic. It's the fact that Lonzo Ball and Zion Williamson have been ruled out for tonight's game. That is huge. On the other side of the ball, no Maine, no Harris, and Cole Anthony, ribs. So we've got 3 injured players on the Magic: Maine with the hamstring, Gary Harris with the thigh, and Anthony with the ribs. And now we know that Ball and Williamson are ruled out. Total points in this game right now, Magic is plus 155 to win. The Pelicans minus 175 to win. Total points right here, pretty low, 213.5.
Jeff said Josh Hart season, and don't forget, you got the guy from Kingston, North Carolina, in most improved player of the year, Ingram. Yes. Ingram. Brandon Ingram is going to go off for 50 tonight.
I see Champagne says, should Haslam still be considered for injury? He's really just a sideline coach, which is so funny, and I appreciated it, so I wanted to roll back to it.
Yes, it's the truth.
So you said you're taking the Pelicans in the over. Is this correct, or are you taking the Magic?
I'm taking the Pelicans in the over.
That's what I assumed. Everybody else.
Ingram, and as Script Daddy said, Josh Hart season. I think the Pelicans are still going to take care of business in this one.
And betting media says the Ingram props. Listen, Ingram's been a very consistent player this year. If you want to do props, have become such an easy way to navigate the NBA, because you can really look at the stats, and you're looking at rebounds, you're looking at blocks. It's just a ton of fun. So we agree on that one. Now we've got the Atlanta Hawks taking on the San Antonio Spurs. Right now, the Hawks, they're adjusting this one. I can only give you the total points. Total points right now is 222 on the Hawks side of the ball. Chris Dunn is out with the ankle. DeAndre Hunter is questionable with the knee. And Collins is still day-to-day with the ankle. On the other side of the ball for the San Antonio Spurs, Gorgie Ding is still day-to-day, and Lonnie Walker is still day-to-day. What you got, everybody out there? Yeah, you do need to look at Hawks. What you guys got out there on this one with the total points, 222?
ATL, shawty.
Ooh, you got confident, bro. Okay.
ATL, shawty. Yes.
And with that much confidence, are you going for the over? I just think 222 seems a tad bit high for my comfort. I see it maybe 217.
I'm going to go with the under.
So we're going for the Atlanta Hawks and the under. What's everybody else out there? Better Media's got the under. We'll see what Jeff. Oh, Atlanta is right there with us before we can even say Atlanta and the under. One more game and it is lopsided. The court is lopsided. It's like being on a seesaw and the heavy person gets up and you fly to the top. What's lopsided about this game between the Denver Nuggets and the Los Angeles Clippers is not the fact that the Nuggets are minus 140 to take the win. The Clippers plus 120. Total points 19. It is the fact that the Clippers are out. Beverly. Marcus Morris is day-to-day. Paul George with the foot is out. Rajon Rondo is out. Serge Ibaka is out. On the other side of the board, the other Morris, that is Monte Morris, he is out. Clippers are looking just deflated with this injury list right now. Can they pull out a win against the Nuggets?
To quote the late Tupac Shakur, my mama didn't raise no fool. That being said, I'm going with the Denver Nuggets in this one. Jamal Murray, Nikola Jokic, and the newly acquired JaVale McGee and Aaron Gordon will take care of business. I'm going with the Nuggets in this one. I'm going with the Nuggets in the over. What say you?
I'm going with the Nuggets and the over as well in this one. So everybody, don't forget you want to use my promo code. It is BB. It is Lisa250BB. Let's talk about how some of these teams shook out after a big weekend moves, what the Nets did, what is now happening with the Lakers, and how far do you think? Look, it's so crazy. I've been looking at the futures at Bovada. One of the props and one of the plays I really liked was James Harden for MVP. And all the conversation on different networks is that James Harden really can't get it because of how he left and because he went into the strip clubs before the season started. does that, any of that really matter? Like, do you think that's going to hold him back? Because statistically, James Harden deserves to be the MVP.
Yeah, he does. And I think when you look at the NBA and how it's swayed, I think that Giannis for many years, like last year, got it from a popularity contest perspective. But I think ultimately it's a media vote. And I think pre-LeBron getting injured and pre-Embiid getting injured, it was definitely a dialogue worth having. But quiet as it's kept, I know that the Utah Jazz have been in the news because of birds crashing into planes, but Donovan Mitchell is somebody that is a noble candidate. The Portland Trailblazers, Damian Lillard is an applicable candidate here.
Sure.
And to quote, I'm quoting everybody today, but to quote Isaiah Thomas, he surely meets the criteria. And I think when it's all said and done, though, I do think that James Harden deserves it.
But you don't think he'll get it because it's a media vote, am I right?
I think it's a media vote, but I think people love to hate the villain.
Yeah.
How he left is such a thing. But
we need a villain. We always like to have a villain.
But I think if the NBA season were to end today, if not Harden, I think Lillard deserves that nod, and I think he doesn't get it because he plays in Portland and not LA or New York or even Philadelphia or Chicago.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, the conversation isn't really being had around Lillard as much as it should be, and that's truly not because of his stats or him even missing games. It is because more of the market. But if Harden doesn't get it, it's kind of like Tobias this year. You know, if Tobias doesn't get into the All-Star game next season and he continues to play lights out like he has so far this season, then we're all going to be freaking out that he's raw. But this MVP, you know, if you want to put money on this, it's just... And that's another good point Jeff just raised. If Westbrook stays on this crazy pace and finishes averaging a triple-double, he gets in the MVP conversation. There's another one. It's just shifted so much since 2 months ago.
Lisa, to quote you, that's an element of surprise there because I think that the MVP of the NBA consists of the top player who's putting up stellar stats with a team that does exceedingly and abundantly well. I don't see Russell Westbrook getting it. And I think what's happened with the MVP discussion is that it's become a popularity contest. LeBron James was the NBA's MVP last season, not Giannis Antetokounmpo.
True.
But the thing is, I'd rather get an NBA Finals championship than win an MVP.
Yes, okay, I can understand that for sure. I'd want both. I wouldn't care what order they came in, but I would want both. But if I had to choose one, you're right. I want to be part of bringing a team, bringing a city, a win, a championship. So now we're talking about championships. At this pace right now, with the injuries the Lakers are seeing, do you feel that they still have as good of a chance coming up to these playoffs to be in the conversation?
I think that the Lakers have a chance to still make it. I think there's enough time in the season. I think they're in 4th or 5th place at this point. I think that there was panic because they're the Lakers. But I think that injury to Drummond last night, like I saw people on Twitter saying Drummond sucks, and like he just got there.
His toenail got ripped off, the whole toenail from the injury. Like, oh my God, it's so painful, and it's just so uncomfortable. Think about when your toenail gets ripped off or a fingernail. Every day you shower, every time you eat. Oh my gosh, bless his heart. But night one with your new team, it was devastating.
It's also the shoes he wore. So he wore the Jordan 11 IEs. You remember the I've seen some of your sneakers on your IG, by the way. So the Jordan 11s are the patent leathers, but they're the lizard form of those shoes.
Yeah.
They're a mid to low top shoe. He switched into some LeBron 16 because LeBron sneakers are more heavy duty and made for somebody who puts as much impact. But
sure, stop and go. Yeah.
I would have wore those LeBron 16s from first quarter to end, and it's interesting to see how.
DFS Goat says I have fake nails, so I have no idea. I hate to break it to DFS Goat, but these are my real nails. They've just gotten really long, and it's very distracting when I'm typing, so I can't wait to get them cut. But so you wanted to diss me, DFS Goat? I have to kind of give you the truth. They're real. So I will cut them off, and maybe that will make you feel that I know more, and we'll just have it there. But yeah, I mean, it's no longer us thinking like it's just a doubt how much longer for Anthony Davis. We know that LeBron will eventually say, pain management, I'm still going to play. I got to get out there. I know in LeBron's mind, no matter how injured he is, he has a number I'm not missing more than these days. I will let myself rest and recover for these amount of days, and then I'm just going to power through it. And he will. He will go out there, and he's not a player that will go out there for a day and then turn it back and, go back, that kind of a thing. He's just not that.
Lisa, French manicure?
Yes, French manicure.
I
like the French manicure.
There you go.
DFS has a lot of comments. This is Instagram, though. He wants to be a GOAT at DFS, but I will actually give him credit. He's a GOAT at just trying to talk smack to me, which I get all day long. Scoop, that people probably spend, probably 50% of the people that come at me during the day are coming at me to sling insults at me. It's a lot. At first, it was a lot. Now I'm just used to it. So he just falls into that 50%.
I'm starting to get it more and more myself, so I understand. So,
dude, the internet is brutal.
It is, but I don't know about you, but I come from the era of playing the dozens, talking about your mama. But
I come from the era, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. That's what my grandmother used to say. If you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. Okay.
This is true.
But this is where we're at in the world today, so it's going to be interesting. By this time next week, by our 5 p.m. next Thursday, we're probably going to have a better idea, more conversation about the exacts on Durant, the exacts on Embiid. Mm-hmm. Embiid's another big question mark. Are we getting the truth? When are we going to see him out there again? Do you have any inside info, Scoop?
Well, the Embiid thing is day to day.
Which is good news, right?
It's good news. And when I look at the Anthony Davis situation in comparison to the LeBron James situation, I think the Davis situation is a lot more delicate than the Anthony Davis one, because with Davis, that injury is similar to the injury that Kevin Durant had a couple of years ago before he hurt himself in the NBA Finals. You got to kind of handle those gingerly.
Yeah.
And not just rush to rush back. And the Lakers really don't have to, So when it comes to injuries and things of that sort, one thing worth mentioning is just the level of travel and back-to-back games, and sometimes back-to-back games. I don't know if you recall, but the first lockout during the 99-2000 season was you would have a team starting in, say they were on a road trip. They may start in Philadelphia. Their second road trip game could be in Houston, and then the next road game could be
they were all over the place. They were doing baseball tours then to make up. They were doing 10 days gone, 12 days gone. And NBA players normally aren't gone for that long of an extended period.
Freebird said, what are the odds on how long it will take for an offer for your nails?
Oh, that's a great one. Yeah, if I cut them off and then sell them to somebody, it's actually a good side business. Great thought there. Well, Scoop, I look forward to this every single week. I know we got our games. I have our notes. We'll be watching the games tonight. You will all be watching them with us, and we have a lot more to come for everybody. So thank you for joining us here at Bovada. We look forward to seeing you all again next Thursday.
Bye, Rockstar.
Bye.